Hi, welcome to DC Fan Gives Hope. Now, before I go on, okay, just remember that I run a positive DC page, okay. I don't run a Zack Snyder page, I don't run I just run something that tries to, put DC in the forefront and look at it at a sort of positive and sometimes objective sort of way than others. Now, as some of you know who have been maybe following my YouTubes already, I feel sorry for you guys having to listen to me, but you would know that I started the page because of the backlash I was finding from Man of Steel. I started it and tried to convince people, listen, Man of Steel was good, it was excellent, it showed us the Superman we all wanted. So ever since then, I've been defending every single thing that's come out. And my objective, my idea was to even defend the ones that not a lot of people like, but because it's got DC, I try and look at it because there's always somebody out there that loves it. Okay? So now we've got that out of the way, now I'm probably going to say a couple of things that's going to rub people up the wrong way, and maybe any of you subscribers will probably unsubscribe. I've noticed already the numbers of my page going down because I'm supporting the Justice League movie. Now, and why I believe that the Justice League is a success, and of course, wow, it's warm in here. Of course, not a success as in money, or a success in of its potential that it could have won, or the potential of the film, and it missed those out, and probably and Warner Brothers has came out and they're already a wee bit maybe a wee bit dissatisfied with the outcome of the film, and that's why all these changes have been made in order to try to fix the damage and take control. So by them taking control, that means they're willing to do more and more and more. They are, they're not going to give up on this because, as you say, it's their property. Now, I've never took this off. I've got a Flash one and an Aquaman somewhere right now. So you've seen the Superman one, right? So my wee girls, Wonder Woman, they've never came off. Okay, never came off since it's got Justice League on it. We've got that in the cinema. Anyway, so why do I think Justice League is a success? Okay, now I have taken all the news, Now I'm one for always saying clickbait and this and stuff like that, and don't believe this, and I've been defending Batman v Superman and defending this, and I've tuned into all those other video people that have been defending the film. But what we're forgetting, okay, because I had to defend the films, even though I did like them, and and I couldn't see why there was so much hatred. This because every DC fan is different. Okay, every fan that goes to see it have got their own ideas, what they want to see in their heroes. Some people like the Christopher Reeve. Some people, didn't see Man of Steel being the sort of Superman they wanted. Then when Justice League comes out, everybody's saying that's it. Now I'm going to put at the end of the video the reaction. Okay, I've done it before, but I'm going to put a reaction from people watching Justice League. Okay, and I believe everybody had that. Most people had that same reaction watching Justice League. So these people on YouTube, there's J-Roar. J-Roar used to defend it to the hilt, and Film Junkie, he defended it and stuff like that, and he was always posting videos. I even talked to him and stuff. But the one thing that they are is that they're Zack Snyder fans. They're ones that I've been defending it, and in one of the recent videos on J-Roar one was that he was not upset that he didn't get invited to the film of the franchise that he says he's been defending, but after the 7th time he's seen the film, okay, now don't quote me on that, okay, I'm just going from memory, but he's seen it pretty few times, okay. After the 7th time he's seen it, he's now decided that it's bad, okay, and that he's been robbed, and that he's disgruntled and whatnot, and he feels that, after all this defending, it's came to nothing, and he'll not say a thing about the DCU again. He just feels let down as a fan because of the film and because of all these supposedly things that was done to the film. Now, yes, but listen, 7 times. 7 times. Now, that's a lot of pennies. Okay, to go and see a film that maybe, okay, you've seen it 2nd time. Okay, yeah, you're calmed down and you're loving it. A 3rd time, honestly, if I seen a film 7 times in sort of period, I would start to maybe dislike it. Especially if it's in the cinema, so to see it 7 times when it's only been out for a couple of weeks, it's, you would find, you would actually start looking for bits that you dislike. Now, there's, he's put up a picture, and it's been used quite a lot about Superman, and he's smiling like that, but that is bad photoshopping. When I watched the film, I did not once think like that was, I didn't really see that. But of course, these things, once you put a picture of that on Facebook, it goes skyrocketing, sky high. Was it a good thing? No, of course it's not a good thing to CGI a moustache, but it didn't do it from. Anyway, so he's seen it 7 times, and now he's on the other one. And then Film Junkie. And don't get me wrong, both of these guys, they're good guys, and got a lot. But as I spoke to some of them, I suddenly realised why some people maybe have, because they're passionate. Okay, some people may have walked away from them because, I'm talking because they tried to go to Mark Hughes and stuff like that. It's a critic who's basically was one of the ones defending Justice League, and has defended most of the other ones, and he's came forward and he's tried to put his score in Rotten Tomatoes, and found that somebody else had done it, and but we find that this guy Mark Hughes had blocked Film Junkie. And I spoke to him a couple of times, and I'm just, I was hurt because of fans not liking the film, and I'm asking him why did he like it, and then all of a sudden he turns tail and starts saying he's disliking it. He's bringing in other critics who share his opinion and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, that's not much of a debate. You need somebody that will disagree with you. And some of the facts he was coming out, just like Kevin Smith, was reading it from other clickbait websites. Now, yes, there's people that came forward. There's people from the special effects department claiming these things, and there's the actor who played Steppenwolf claimed that he had done this scene and stuff. And so all these bits were missing from the film, and the so-called dark side was cut out of the film. But then you look at the other side, where there's people saying that the ones that came out with all these rumours should be ashamed of themselves, because these films were never, these shots were never finished. Zack Snyder had planned to make a shorter film, not a 2-hour, 40-odd minute one. And so they were planning not to use it. Brought on Joss and they talked to them. There was so much news surrounding this, and we're never ever going to get a clear idea of what went and whatnot. So people have signed this petition to get the Snyder Cut. But then, if you look at it, there's only a small amount. Okay, now going back to Film Junkie, I then forward that sort of information out to him. I posted it, and I sent him links to things that would, be a point of argument of what he was saying. I says, can you explain this? But he was not interested. And that is the problem with people now. And that's the biggest problem with DC fans, is you are, no matter what other people are saying, no matter what news bits are saying, if it's not your cup of tea, you're going to claim it's clickbait, right? And I may be responsible for that, but again, I am defending DCEU no matter what. Okay, I'll say that it's clickbait if it's negative, because why bother posting it? Most things that were coming out of the DCEU was negative. So are we to believe everything that comes out? No. Are we to believe the positive? Probably not. But, you know, what's the point of going through life, you know, reading negative news? You know, let's have news on TV that tells you good news instead of bad news all the time. So, once I thought, no interest. So now you're getting, on the internet, you're getting all these people that loved Justice League, that had given up on the films. My partner said that was the first movie she's liked. Justice League, with the kids, they love it, and people say, oh, it's too animated. But that's because, you know, if it's animated, it's good. I enjoy the animation movies. When I went and took the kids to see BVS, oh, 7 of them or whatever, not mine. We went to see it, and majority of the time I'm thinking, this is too deep and too heavy for a Batman v Superman movie for kids. You know, and I'm thinking, I want everyone to enjoy these films, and not a selected group of people. And yeah, okay, the kids will appreciate it and stuff like that when they get older. I'm not saying the whole kids, you know, but I'm just saying Justice League, if it was animated, then it was fun. It was terrific. Now, and I'm also stating, don't get me wrong, that yeah, it had faults because the Warner Brothers came in. But what I'm saying is, now these people that petitioned for these cuts, if you look at the numbers, okay, it's still small. You can boast about how big people are signing it, but it's enough. I don't even think it's big enough to fill a football stadium. So you've got all these other fans out there that are loving it and giving it something like 7 out of 10. Now, for me, that is it. You know, round about 7 or 8 is normally what people are giving the film. I spoke to one of my colleagues. He gave it a 7 out of 10. He enjoyed BVS, but at least, you know, so why am I still calling this film a success if it's not made? Well, first of all, you know, it broke records in China, you know, because they're not as sentimental towards these characters as probably America is, and that's why it felt a wee bit domestic, because people, but the main thing is, look at the Rotten Tomato scores. Okay, the Rotten Tomato scores is higher than what is previously done, apart from Wonder Woman, from BVS to BVS and Man of Steel and Suicide Squad. It's higher up, and most of the comments coming from the critics were positive. Everybody had said that. Even the Snyder fans would claim, you know, when the buzz was starting to come, that everybody was just saying either it was a mess, but it was a great enjoyment film. Okay, so that was that, and then the scores from the audience gave it a high score. So people were loving this movie. Why did it not make money? Well, first of all, critics, right? Critics and Rotten Tomato, whatever. Now you can put your hands up and say, oh, they've got nothing to do with the audience, because if you look at the audience and Rotten Tomatoes, they're fresh box of popcorn, okay? But sadly enough, it comes to magazines that give it something like 2 or 3 stars that say, okay, this needs a little bit of work. But, okay, when you look at the Marvel fans, okay, now most Marvel fans get stars, okay, they do get stars. And when they get stars, and when they get appraisal from critics, they also make money. Doesn't matter how you and I feel about those films, okay? And I, for one, I'm not a big fan of the Marvel films, Okay, just because they're not my heroes. Okay, I'm a supporter of DCU, not a fan. I am a supporter. I'm a fan of Zack Snyder. Supporter of DC. I will support DC. These are my heroes, my childhood heroes. So I will support it. What? So if you look at the critics on the Marvel side, yeah, they say it's good, and most Marvel films has made money. Of course, you get that argument where there's only been four or five, whatever, DC movies, and it's just made as much money as the Marvels have. When it compared to their 6 to get that high. But that's because Marvel heroes is not as well known. Hence why maybe some people might feel let down because of Justice League. But the reason why they may also feel let down is because the last previous films were done by a version of the characters that the majority of people didn't like. Okay, it doesn't matter how I felt. I liked them. I could see because it's based on the characters, right? It's not the characters, and I could see where the director was coming from. But a lot of people just wasn't on board. So what happens is, now after Man of Steel, there's now talks about how the studio wasn't happy with Man of Steel and had the eyes on Zack Snyder. And it says maybe he's not the right director for directing these jobs as vision, even though he has built the empire, he's built the DC universe. So forever he will be connected to it. It's some sort of advisory, some sort of plot. But again, what the essential requirement for an everyday film was a movie to take round about 2 hours. To fit a movie in for 2 hours. Okay? And maybe it was his original idea to do some standalones before Justice League, but with his arc that he had in mind, he could see a way from getting from Man of Steel to Justice League in only a couple of films. Okay, and by the Ultimate Edition, he did that. But again, he was dealing with characters that not the majority of people liked, and not the time frame of a movie that they wanted. Hence why Justice League and BVS was always cut down shorter. Okay, and as Zack Snyder wanted Justice League to be cut down shorter, but never, it was. So what you need is a director that can make a good film within a good period of time. Wonder Woman did all that. Right, with Zack Snyder's help, as I say, for all those Zack Snyder fans out there. With Wonder Woman, they made a film with it. Now, Wonder Woman, yes, lots of stars, talk about Oscars and stuff like that, yes. Any film gets an Oscar for DC, yeah. Talking about whatever, it got a lot of stars, but again, it didn't make all that money. It didn't make as much money as I believe it should have, but it surpassed what people thought the film was going to make. Right? It surpassed that. Now, that is because it came off of some films that wasn't widely approved. Okay, they didn't widely approve of BVS until anybody that actually sat and watched the Ultimate one. Then it came off the back burner of Suicide Squad. Now, Justice League, being in the back burner of all of these films, probably had lost the mandate and lost some DC fans that were doing that. So there was a lot of things going against Justice League. So why is it I'm still calling Justice League a success? Well, Justice League is the wake-up call. Justice League is the one that showed you these characters and what it's kind of like a bridge of what they can become and the direction that it can be. Yes, of course, we could have had a Zack Snyder film that would have eased it into those sort of way to look on a slower pace instead of this quickly everybody's changed into the one film. But this is because the studio is listening to the fans, is trying to get, and you can say what you want, but they're trying to make films to go for the wider audience and not just satisfy the minority. Now, some people out there will say as well that these films like BVS and stuff, so they will be a great film in years to come and people will start appreciating it, which I believe they will. But sadly enough, as a business, you can't basically wait a couple of years and hope that that comes true. right? Because you've got all these people you need paid here and here and there and stuff like that. But they can now. There's also these cutscenes. Now, been told, as I say, all these cutscenes. If you look at all the news, some of it, yeah, it exists, but a lot of news say it's on the cutting floor. But there's other news that says it could cost another $1 million to put into a DVD. You know, to do it. That's not to say they can't do it in years to come, like they did with Richard Donner's Superman 2. So it is possible, it is there. Will we get it quickly? Who knows? But what they did take from Justice League is those elemental changes, right, of whoever did Justice League. I'm not saying it was because Zack Snyder, I believe, did some comedy scenes that. So did Joss Whedon. But what they got from that was, because as the ratings went up, they can see the potential, and they can see maybe these cuts were better for the future of DCU. And because now the DCU has been changed, and it's and Warner Brothers is woken up finally, and then that is why, to me, it's a success. It's a success because we had, first of all, the Justice League movies done. If we had waited another year, if we had waited a year just for a moustache, do you know what kind of backlash it would have? Oh, Justice League's in trouble, Justice League's in trouble, oh, the picture is doomed to die, all this squabbling, Zack Snyder walking down, it would have been endless. It would have been endless. So, so now, as I say, Marvel fans, they're not arguing of their movies like DC. Why? Because they've got everything going for them. They might not like it, but they've got critical approval and they're making money. And if DC had that, maybe all these other fans out there that either sided with Zack or sided with that, they don't have anything to argue. And I've seen some comments down below, oh, they're finished, they're not interested in Aquaman, DCU is finished, they've screwed it up, but then you get one guy that says, well, you guys are ruining it all by just constantly, you know, complaining. It's you guys that are making DCU suddenly change all these movies because you're online moaning and moaning and moaning. What are they going to do? Their head scrambled. So Justice League for me will always be that sort of breakthrough film that is going to reshape. And when we see Aquaman, which I believe is going to be another great film, we will then see, and if that becomes that great, then of course Warner Brothers will step in, right? Justice League was the middle ground of where we can go, okay? BVS, Justice League are now the future. So right now it's probably went too much. What we need is get it right bang in the middle to please everybody, you know. So I can't wait for the DVD to come out. I think for what it's done, from against all the critical backlash, against all the behind the scenes drama, it still managed to deliver some scenes that are memorable and fun to watch with all the family. Thank you for watching, and stay positive out there.